This is Marvel Rivals. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. This is a free-to-play Overwatch-like game where they've essentially just taken the Overwatch formula and they've thrown Marvel characters into it. It's got a strong starting roster of 33 individual heroes from across the various Marvel experiences, from the Avengers to the Mutants to Guardians of the Galaxy and all kinds of different things in between. Quite a range of characters, options, and classes for you to dive into as you fight alongside a variety of unique combo synergies and across a variety of maps for all kinds of different challenges, battles, and epic action to have and enjoy. So we've got a couple different graphical options that we will be talking about here on the Series X. And yeah, it's actually like a pretty technically impressive kind of experience in terms of gameplay and just what it has to offer. I really do quite like this one. I find it to be a fair bit of fun, and it's genuinely quite intriguing. I'm a little bummed out it doesn't have cross progression, which is a little annoying. Like, obviously there's cross play going on, but the cross progression, or their lack of, is a little annoying because I kind of got stuck on one platform for leveling and stuff, and I'm like, oh no. Just seems antiquated to not have something like that in this day and age. Oh, I'm getting eaten by Jeff the Landshark. That's fantastic. Is he gonna try to push me off a wall? Thanks, Jeff. Jeff's always, you know, he's adorable, but the shark will come. The shark will try to eat you. Anyways, like I said, we've got two different graphical options here. This is the first, which is like the quality mode or the regular mode. It's a dynamic 1440p at 60 FPS. Now there is ray tracing in the form of global illumination, so it definitely looks a lot sharper in this mode, but this isn't really the mode that I would personally really go for, because I do believe the high frame rate mode, if you have that as an option to you, is a much better way to succeed and enjoy playing this game, as you you know, basically have the performance on your side in order to make all the right moves. Oh, that guy was like a one-shot. Should have went to go and kill him. But in a sec here, we'll switch over to that off, so you can see that in action. There's also VRR, which is variable refresh rate, and there is spatial sound support. So if you're into that kind of thing, those are the options that are kind of present within this game. And it's pretty well polished. I did have quite a few crashes game-wise, but you know, not necessarily too common, but something that did pop up while I was playing, though that seems to be mostly just when I'm playing the high frame rate mode, so just kind of keep that in mind, because it does look like they are using resolution scaling that's a lot more aggressive, and some sort of upscaler thing that kind of kicks in really intensely. So this mode is 120 FPS. It actually is quite fluid. It's actually pretty nice to play it this way, and I think it's still relatively clean. It's a lot more of an aggressive 1440p dynamic scaling, but it is genuinely still a rather sharp enough image and pretty good looking. I have been playing this on the PS5 Pro, where the bump up to resolution is a lot higher there, so it is much clearer of an image. But other than that, for the Series X, not a bad offering. It does look visually fine, it's, you know, smooth, and it's nice to have a high frame rate mode that is available to you so that you can enjoy, you know, the competitive action to the full degree. I think that in itself is fantastic and well appreciated. And as I said, this game in general I've been having a really great time with. I find it to be an interesting mix-up of characters and setups, and I love the focus on objective-based play. That always intrigues me. Yeah, like I said, they've basically just taken, literally blocking shots for the Hulk there. They've just taken the concept in the gameplay of Overwatch, they've turned it into a third-person kind of battling game, and just put some really comic and or very aesthetically pleasing characters into it. And it's very audience-friendly in terms of the monetization elements and gameplay elements. And it's just fun. It's easygoing. It's action-packed. There's always lots of things happening. There's a really cool selection of characters that they've chosen for this. As I was saying earlier, there's really neat synergies. So if you get a bunch of people that are kind of like similar. They have like a backdrop, say the spider folk. They'll actually have like a combo thing. Like for example, Spider-Man paired up with Venom, you'll get like a symbiote, like extra little attack kind of thing. And some characters can like pick up other characters, like throw them, and it's just fun little extras like this that really do make for an interesting type of gameplay experience. And as I said, there's actually like a decent selection of maps. That would be one thing where I could be like, oh, I could maybe do with some more maps. But there's actually like a fine selection of levels here that you can enjoy, and they range from pushing objectives across a map to capturing a certain point. And there's also a nice sense of environmental damage and or destruction as well within this one. So the maps can get like broken in certain areas, and then they'll like respawn a little bit over the course of the game too. So they'll come back in and out and stuff, which is kind of neat. But it's quite fascinating if there's a hero hiding behind a certain area or something like that. If they are becoming a problem, you can literally just, you know, take out that kind of wall or something. And I really did appreciate that that mechanic was in this game. My team is terrible. I just thrown it out there for terrible. Yeah, we're not getting this done. I think we're kind of lacking. Oh, there's Venom as like a tank, but you know, like I'm a healer and I'm like one of the few people that's actually kind of like pushing, which is not good. Anyways, you get a wide range of Marvel characters as long as they kind of tend to this and they add to it. I think this has a really strong base, and it's something that is, again, genuinely quite a lot of fun to play. I'm having a great time jumping in here and competing and battling against others, and you know, the pacing elements of it are quite fun and interesting as you go about facing off against all these different heroes, and there's really wild all over the places in terms of like sort of damage and gameplay mechanics. It's really quite neat because some are people that do like brawling, and some do shooting, and some fly around, and some have these abilities, and it's kind of really an interesting combo to sit there and try to learn who does what and who offers this in battles and scenarios, and then seeing the different roles kind of play. And you got some that are a bit more tanky, some that are a support class, and they all seem very authentic to their Marvel origins, which I appreciate even more too, is actually the authenticity for that kind of stuff. It seems like they're not really afraid to also offer something that is kind of fun, if that makes sense. Like some characters just have really strong fun abilities, and they're entertaining or adorable, and they all kind of do different things, and they all kind of fit into this battle in unique ways. And yeah, I just kind of really appreciate what they have going on in this game. I'm not really killing anyone this match, which isn't great, but usually I'm a little deadlier than that. At least we got the objective moving. I guess that's kind of what matters to me the most, some would say, for sure, is getting that actually, like, that objective pushed. And then you've got an ultimate that goes over the course of a match. Some ultimates are better than other ultimates, but it is kind of funny, like, playing this. And then also, just the dynamics of characters, too, is very interesting, because you clearly have some characters that just have Overwatch inspirations, but are just like Overwatch characters that have found their way in here, and they've been switched up to certain new Marvel characters. And legitimately, I think this one has all the potential here to really perform well, and it's going to be interesting to see, again, the long term of this one. But I really am pleasantly surprised by it, I would say. I've tried all the different characters. There's a great stream of it on the channel if you haven't seen that. I literally show off every single character that you can kind of like, every character that's available at launch, and you can see all of them in action, see their abilities, see what they do. And that was really cool to kind of actually have an opportunity where there's like a successful stream and we can just dive into what every single person does and get a feel for them and the synergies and the character model like designs and how they work together. There's just a lot to like about this game, I think, is the biggest thing. It is also interesting movement-wise, how you progress, a little slower style, but it works out. You know, kind of a little disappointed that we got defeated after that rally. Another lobby, I guess. Alright, we progress forward. And as I said, it is neat how you kind of move a little slower. And then you got Captain America, who can sprint, which I say is his greatest ability. But no, that approach allows them to kind of have a nice balance for how combat works between the different units, where you're not just immediately rushing in and doing, you know, instant quick battles. There actually is a little bit more strategy to it, especially with getting your characters into the conflict and facing off against one another. No, they really do have something that I think is quite special here, as long as they tend to it. The potential for growth in this game is literally quite limitless. There's so many characters that exist within the Marvel Universe that you could use and throw in here, and they've done also a good job of balancing different types of characters. Like, you could easily come in here and have like 40 different type of Spider-Man, right? But they are at least actively, currently, seemingly trying to change things up a bit. It's all the favorites. Like, I think they got all the big characters, but they also have a few fun surprises that mix things up in nice ways, and it just kind of keeps things fresh and going. And I do, there's like obviously lots that I would love to see pop in here, and hopefully they will over time. I would say my big thing though would be really just more map options, but I do think they have more than enough maps in this, like genuinely quite an impressive selection of levels. And then Hawkeye with his overpowered bow, right? I think that's who that is. And then you get such diverse rosters. I think that too is a really appealing part of the gameplay experience for me, is the fact that like every match I play, I'm essentially coming across new team dynamics for my team and synergies for opposing teams. So you're never really sure what kind of combo you're going to come across, and with there being a massive roster of 33... Oh, I didn't get to use my ultimate. That thing killed me way too fast. Ah, it sucks. You know, 33 characters, teams of 6, it's like... The dynamic should be essentially unique every single time you go in and fight for your team or the opposing team, and I think that in itself is rather exciting. And I love the setup and the pacing of the matches. You go in, and like, some can be a little longer, but they're all relatively quick matches. They all go by fast. They feel competitive, though. It feels like it really respects your time. Like, nothing is too overly quick unless your team is really messing up. But yeah, no, they've really compiled something here that feels easygoing. Like, it doesn't feel overly competitive, but it still can be competitive because there's a competitive mode and there's like an arcade kind of thing going on too. But like at the same time, it's like, oh, you can be kind of serious about this. And it's easy to approach this and learn about the characters and their abilities and what they do. And then if you're really wanting to get proficient and good at this game, you can take things further. And you can really learn the different abilities, the combo moves, the setups. Yeah. There's a lot under the hood here, which I think is exciting for those that take an extra little step to wanting to be serious about it and being like, okay, let's get this character match with that character. This character is doing that character, I'll match with this. We need a support character, how do we fit that in there? Or like, how do I best use my abilities? I almost always forget that my characters have like a melee option in this. I don't even think about it. And then on top of that, spending enough time with different characters to really become acquainted with their abilities, because with so many characters, like 33 characters, it's really hard to be naturally proficient at all of them. Those mines really... Usually this character, not a problem for me, but the mines keep getting me. It's interesting, because yeah, Psylocke I usually just sneak in and... Huh. Kind of cool, and it's a game about countering too, and in the casual matches you could switch up characters and stuff if things aren't working, try other characters, and... Yeah, no, there really is so much to this game. It's genuinely fascinating. I hate that our team isn't getting this position really moving, but... Actually, you know what? That isn't Hawkeye. That's Black Widow. That's the one that's been blasting me down, eh? I guess if it was Hawkeye, I would have already died, right? Hawkeye is incredibly overpowered at launch here. He like one-shots everyone. It's crazy. Bye-bye, Black Widow. And I like the balance that you die quickly and you can kill quickly. But at the same time, there's enough of a like back and forth where you usually have a chance to come back in and like fight and counteract or change what you're doing, and I think that in itself is very well handled in this. They've got some really good mechanics and gameplay going on in this experience. I think, to me, this one has endless potential. I know I keep kind of saying that, but it's just really quite exciting to play something that's like this, where it's like, oh, well, the Overwatch genre is so kind of done, right? Like, we've seen so much of it. It's like, we know Overwatch, we know what it offers, and you like it, you're into it, or you're not at this point, right? But then to see something that kind of takes that formula and then, like, kind of adjusts it and makes it still, like, fun, but fun in a different way and exciting and attractive again is quite intriguing. I'll have to see how they kind of work on that in regards to countering and or adjusting their strategy here. I also, it's interesting too, where the maps you may think would be more traditional, but it's very much like, this whole game is kind of a multiverse concept. So you get a variety of futuristic kind of things, and genuinely quite neat. Well, I'm not going to be able to get up there and take out that character. I forgot you kind of spread fast with this character. Oh, I'm so dead. I ran out of health. I thought there might be like a health pack down there. Nah, it didn't work out for me. I do like the aesthetics of the maps too. Like, I think they hit some key kind of Marvel locations with some key characters, and yeah, it's a very competently put together, competitive but easygoing multiplayer game. I can't see how this one doesn't continue to grow and be mighty and successful here. It's one of my picks as this one is a lot more impressive than meets the eye gameplay wise. Nice. And it's just so cool learning all the combos and stuff. Like, especially with trying the different characters. There's so many characters that I would have never usually tried, but I really do love after giving them a go. Like, Cloak and Dagger actually is one of my favorite groups, and then Psylocke here has been fantastic, and no, it's neat. It really is. I got kicked in the face. Wow, I had that coming. As I said, very clean, visually well put together, polished experience too. That's a big thing, is the amount of like work that went into making sure everything is smooth and clean and looks good. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how they expand costume options and stuff too for characters, and it's the long term that intrigues me for this game, because the base here was basically we're throwing out like every single Marvel character that we can compile for a launch roster, and then we're gonna go and take that even further down the road, and I think that's the right way to do it. They have all of the successful blocks in place to make this a big game. And I'm sure the competition is probably wondering how this will impact things, because yeah, I can't see this not continuing to go over well and growing. This is a great time, really. Oh, gotta watch out for Iron Fist there. When he gets a fist, and it's over. Seems that character's strong too. There's so many characters that have different things where they just come in and they do different abilities and setups, and they really have like a little bit of, they kind of just have everything in this. Shooter characters, fighting characters, splash characters, magic characters, supporting characters, fun ones, silly ones, cute ones, ones with a bit more of a good vibe and aesthetic going on. Yeah, they saw the formula, they took it, they evolved it, and this is something that should be a pretty big success due to those choices. Oh, I had my ultimate charged. I could have went in there and absolutely just slashed my way to victory. That's a bit of a rough defeat, needless to say. Oh, you enjoy your MVP token. I'm just disappointed I didn't get to take that farther, but yeah, not a bad experience.